What's up, fam? What's going on? Back at it like a mug. You know what I'm talking about? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan in the building. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. You know what I'm saying? Just sliding through for a quick word like I like to do sometimes. Happy holiday to everybody. Hope you're staying up, protecting you and yours. You know what I'm saying? And all that good stuff, man. We're going to chop it up on some real boxing topics for a quick minute. I'm going to get in and I'm going to get out. So salute to everyone that catches this live once again. And salute to everyone that catches this on the playback. Now, let's start off, man. What's going on in boxing, man? You know, I've talked about this on We Talking Boxing. I briefly mentioned this at the beginning, man, and that is this Triple G and Jaime Munguia situation, man. You know, the thing about this situation, I really want this fight. I think this fight makes perfect sense for both fighters involved. I think that, it should be happening. Both fighters under the same umbrella, both fighters on the same network. Jaime Munguia being the best opponent in Gennady Golovkin's sanctioning body of the IBF. This fight needs to happen. I have not heard Gennady Golovkin answer any calls. I haven't heard him say anything. You know what I mean? Hopefully they make this fight. It makes sense for both of these fighters. Gennady Golovkin wants to make it back to Canelo Alvarez. Cool. If you want to get back there, champ, you got to go through the young boy. Young Mexican, up and coming Mexican star. What is a better way to leave a calling card for Canelo Alvarez than to beat Jaime Munguia on Cinco de Mayo? You did. You know Canelo gonna be looking to fight around that time. Word on the curb is gonna be Billy Joe Saunders. You ice this young boy around that time of year, and then you call out Canelo. Canelo gonna be forced to recognize the fact that you actually putting in some work. That's all Canelo been asking you to do, Gennady Golovkin. Put in some work. Right here. This is a great calling card. You know what I'm saying? Jaime Munguia needs this fight as well. It's the aging veteran in Gennady Golovkin. The same way that Canelo had to go through an aging veteran. The difference is that Canelo lost, but it didn't hurt him. Jaime Munguia, if you lose, you go forward. It won't hurt you either. Let's see y'all make this fight. The zone needs this fight. Not to mention there will be a built-in fan base for this fight. Why? Because the Canelo fans that bought the pay-per-view, well, guess what? They got a free 4-month subscription, which means it's going to carry over to February to Canelo fight. They're trying to make this carry all the way closer to May. So you're going to have a built-in Mexican fan base there, Gennady Golovkin, for this kid, Jaime Munguia. What you doing? Are you scared that the Jaime Munguia fight is going to take too much out of you and you ain't going to be no more good for Canelo Alvarez? Because we remember what you did with the with the situation, with the IBF situation that happened before, and you ain't wanted that to get in the way. Are you doing that again, man? Give Jaime Munguia the shot if Jaime going to take it. Jaime mess around and lose. I ain't convinced on Jaime Munguia yet. I ain't convinced he's good. I remember the Dennis Hogan fight. It was his first fight at the middleweight division, but still, I remember that fight. And I thought Dennis Hogan won that fight. So I think that, Jaime Munguia, I think this is the fight that he needs to walk through the door and earn respect from boxing fans. The Zone, the network, can definitely use a cracking an action-packed fight and build forward to the Canelo Alvarez fight. Gennady Golovkin be facing a younger, stronger opponent. He's going to need to be pushed because Canelo is telling him, if we're going to get a fight going, then Gennady Golovkin, you're going to have to meet me up at 168 pounds. Once again, Canelo already getting used to a higher weight and inviting the old aging veteran up to 168 pounds to fight him. Canelo Alvarez, man, it just never stops. You know what I'm saying? But this is the fight that he needs, and this is the fight that makes sense, fam, all day. What's up, Lawrence? RBE, what's up, family? Man, I don't think that Bud wants to fight Porter. Why else offer 75-25? Let me stop you, Lawrence. Didn't offer 75-25. That's the WBO rule. You know what I mean? That's the WBO sanctioning rule. Triple G should fight Andre. Andre's going to go up to fight Billy Joe Saunders, man. So if Andre going to go up that route and try to get the Billy Joe Saunders fight, he already done put it out there. He willing to take less money. If he go that route, then it's going to have to be Gennady Golovkin versus Munguia. I mean, I'm going to be honest, fam. As from a boxing fan standpoint, which fight is more exciting? Is an Andre and Gennady Golovkin fight more exciting? Or is a Munguia and Gennady Golovkin fight more exciting? Think like a boxing fan. You as a paying customer, which one you think gonna set the roof off up in that joint? I think it's the Munguia joint. You know what I'm saying? Real spill, man. Real spill. So let's get on to the next topic. Y'all see what the title is, man. Porter is the PBC champion, and we're going to elaborate more on this situation from yesterday. Now, the thing is this. This is what I'm saying about this Shawn Porter thing. And this is why I'm calling him the PBC champion and saying that he is going to be on the PBC Merry Go Round. Now, we can't predict the future, you dig, but we can read the tea leaves very damn well. You know what I mean? Now, the thing is this. Let's take you back to earlier, I don't know, this year. You know what I mean? Remember when Errol Spence Jr. was in recovery mode and right after his car accident? Well, during that time, the WBC came out and gave a statement and told everyone, the whole world, which was a surprise, what Errol Spence Jr.'s next couple fights would be. And they told people then, and I quote, this was a statement released by the WBC. The WBC IBF champion Errol Spence will first make his WBC mandatory defense against the #1 ranked silver champion, Danny Garcia. And then Spence will then make his mandatory IBF defense next. Then the WBC is waiting for Spence official medical clearance. Now, at the time, Akhmadoukarov, I can't never pronounce his name, he was in the #1 position, and it was said then that that was going to be Errol Spence Jr.'s opponent. So now, you know, I think we got a lot more clarity on the direction that Errol Spence Jr. is going to probably go if he don't get Manny Pacquiao. And that is the fact that, he did the WBC with Danny Garcia. That was a mandatory. And now he's going to go probably face his IBF mandatory. So let's give a little bit more clarity in that situation. For anybody that's wondering, I do not believe that Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. happens minimally until October of 2021, given everything that we know about the situation. So let's scoot that to the side for a second, and let's focus squarely on Showtime Shawn Porter. So, and I think that's what Errol Spence Jr. route is going to be. If it ain't going to be Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be the IBF mandatory. I hear all the names floating around, Keith Thurman, Ugas, yada, yada, yada. The WBC gave us the heads up a little while ago on what Errol Spence Jr.'s next couple moves are going to be. Now, things can always change. We know this is boxing and things are crazy like that. So that's Errol Spence Jr. Now, Showtime Shawn Porter, right? Remember, his Sebastian Formella fight was for a IBF/WBC eliminator. Key word is I did not put final eliminator in that matter. I said eliminator. So if we already know, because I remember Shawn Porter talking about I'm the mandatory for the IBF. Clearly, and if you look at the IBF rankings right now, Kadruliov, Akhmadoukarov is designated as the mandatory. So you're not the mandatory in the IBF, Shawn Porter, yet you fought an eliminator in Sebastian Formella, the WBC. You say that you're going to be called as the WBC mandatory. We don't know that, Showtime Shawn Porter. You may not be, because the WBC didn't issue you a final eliminator. And on top of that, things change all the time in the WBC. They order eliminators from eliminators. Say, that was one. Now you got to do the final eliminator. You dig what I'm saying? So when you think about it in that retrospect, right? Hold on. Just roll with me here, fam. You go to the boxing rankings, right? Now, Keith one-time Thurman enters this equation. How? Because Keith Thurman is back on the scene saying he wants big fights as well. Now, when you look through all of these rankings, the best way back to a title shot, aside from your Danish Ugas for Keith Thurman, which I don't know if that's the route that Keith really, I know it's a great fight for us fans, and I'm down to see it. But I don't know if that's where Keith goes, given the WBA regular championship is almost like a dead end. You feel me? You're not obligated to fight the champion. No one really wants it for real. It's a secondary title. You will have mandatories. You know what I mean? Is that the exact belt that Keith honestly wants to go after? Here's the deal. Keith one-time Thurman rated #3 in the WBC. I'm just asking a simple question here, fam. You got Shawn Porter rated #1, Mikey rated #2, and Keith Thurman rated #3, right? Who's to say the WBC doesn't come out and says, well, given that Errol Spence Jr. is going to go fight his IBF mandatory next, he just fought Danny Garcia here in December. Well, Showtime Shawn Porter, if you going to be called as a mandatory, it may not be until later on down in December or sometime down the line after Errol Spence Jr. fights his IBF mandatory. So the question is, Shawn, what do you do in the meantime, between time, if that is the case? Because you don't want the $1 million, right? You don't want the WBO $1 million. You don't want the $1 million from Top Rank to face Terence Crawford, right? Cool. So what do? Do you face Keith Thurman, who's in the #3 position with the WBO? Is that the route you go? You know what I mean? Do you face Mikey Garcia, who's in the number 2 position with the WBC? Is that the route you go? When I go to the other sanctioning bodies and I see Shawn Porter rated at number 2 in the IBF, not the mandatory, Sergey Lipinets at the number 3 spot. Do you go that route, Showtime Shawn Porter? And of course, in the WBO, you say you don't want the $1 million Terence Crawford fight, right? So when all of those names I just named are all PBC fighters, and take in mind that Shawn Porter will be fighting these dudes for roughly the same amount of money that Crawford and his side is offering them, with the exception of none of those fighters being number 1 pound for pound, a world champion, name popping, ringing bells in every corner of the globe of boxing. This means that Showtime Shawn Porter, if you go after those dudes on your side of the street, which is easy fights to make, why are you fighting for the same amount of money for nothing? You know, when you can go and fight Bud for everything. Now, that's what it's going to come down to. I don't see Showtime Shawn Porter getting that WBC fight no time soon, fam. Not when Errol Spence Jr. got an IBF mandatory looming. Not when, and then on top of that, after that IBF mandatory happens, guess what? Terence Crawford contract may be coming to an end, and then they may be revisiting that situation. So where you fitting in at all this, Porter? For you to turn down $1 million fight with the number 1 pound for pound fighter in boxing, what do you got cooking that's better, homeboy? That's the riddle me that. Riddle me that. For you to just turn it down and say, I don't need it, because you know you ain't like you got paid astronomical amounts of money in all your fights, bro. I mean, Danny, Keith, Mikey or Virgil, those are good fights. Don't get it twisted. Those are damn good fights, but those ain't Bud. And none of these guys are champions. You just told the world that you don't want to fight Keith Thurman. I just thought about that. On this podcast, Shawn Porter clearly says he told Heyman and them that, yo, man, no, I don't want to fight Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman is number 3 in the WBC, and Keith Thurman is number 3 in the WBC, and you number 1. And you telling everybody that you don't want to fight Keith Thurman? What's up with that shit? Oh, Keith Thurman only here for the payday. Why do you care what Keith Thurman is fighting you for? If the man just want to fight you, I don't care if he says, I want to fight Shawn Porter and retire the second I win, lose it. Who cares? It's a big name fight. And why you saying you ain't going to fight him? Bro, cut the jokes, man. If you ain't going to fight him, then you back in there with number 4, Danny. Those are the options that Shawn Porter. This is the PBC Merry Go Round. All over again. All that. You rather do that than fight Bud. You rather do that than fight Bud. Saying, and y'all gonna have to show me, since Shawn Porter's bossing up so much. Oh, $1 million ain't enough money for him. Yeah, I get it. He only walk away with about $400,000 when it's all said and done. It ain't enough for him. Well, show me where he breaking the bank in all of his big name fights. Riddle me that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go up through the comments and salute to all the fam that's coming through, man. Let's go through them. Let's go through them. For Ben Media says, yo, man, from what I'm hearing, this is Jaime's last fight with Golden Boy Promotions in Zanfa. Doesn't really want the Triple G fight. They want the WBO Andre vacating to move up. Oh, yeah, I've been reporting that as well. If Andre does decide to move up to face Billy Joe Saunders and he vacates that WBO title, then we all know that they want to do Jaime Munguia versus Liam Williams, possibly for that vacated title. You know what I mean? That is a possibility. That is a much more easier road to a title shot for Jaime Munguia. But that depends on Demetrius Andre. You know, he ain't trustworthy like that, bro. Demetrius Andre changes his mind on the flat. So he might fight Billy Joe. Clearly see there's some financial talk coming into it now, and he's talking about he's going to take a pay cut. Don't know which way that's going to go. But if he don't move, then I think they should go after Gennady Golovkin. That's the bigger name, and that's the better fight, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Silver Salamo in the building. What's up, fam? What's up with you, man? Appreciate you coming on through, and happy holidays to you, man. Happy holidays, man. Porter always tries to duck the big boy fights. I mean, it's not like he's going to have any short of bad fights if that happens. Let's not get it twisted. These are damn good fights. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even though it's the PBC Carousel and Merry Go Round, it's the same names. I don't know how much the appetite the fans got for it, but at the end of the day, you know, these are not the worst. Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, maybe a Virgil Ortiz. I mean, these are the names that he's in the mix with. My only thing I'm saying is, bro, the big payoffs ain't with those fights. Let's say even if you win those fights, okay, you become a mandatory again. Why not go after a fight where you becoming a champion and you can just set your own damn price? You know what I mean? $1 million ain't good enough. I get it. You the great Showtime Shawn Porter. You know what I mean? His name, man. His name. Even though the man can't fill a family dinner allegedly, right? But his name is so great. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because the second that Bud beat him, they're going to look back and say that Shawn Porter was either past it or he lost to this guy. He lost to that guy. Whatever. But he is the mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Yo, take what you offer, bro. You know what I'm saying? Zeno, what's up, man? What's up with you? Happy holidays to you, Zeno. Salute to your family. Salute to you. Much love, fam. Much love, much love, much love. You know what I'm saying? I hope Bob is joking about that 1 million. If he's serious, Bud should be offended. Bob would lowball his friend like that. Man, I mean, not you gotta understand it. That kind of reminds me of something I dealt with not too long ago. You know what I mean? It's my friend until it affects me. You feel me? To my staff, I came to them. I had to let someone go, if you will. Not let him go, but I had to cut him down. And everyone felt a little sad for this particular individual, right? So they came to me like, yo, big man, can you, look out for him, Mr. Holiday? I'm like, sure, I got no problem with that, Joe. Check this out. I can look out for him if some of y'all cut back on your hours and I can just give him your hours. Ain't not one person step up. It's the same way in this situation. You know what I mean? Bud Crawford is all good with saying Shawn Porter get paid, I'm sure, until it cracks his guaranteed money. Until Bud Crawford is sit back like, I'm still going to get my 3.5, right? And I'm still going to get that $1 million you owe me for not offering to fight with Errol Spence Jr., right? And then the second that Bob says, well, if we want to pay Porter more, we're going to have to take some from you. Like they try to put out there with Vasil Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. And that's when Bud going to say, that's my friend and I love him, but I ain't giving him nothing. You know what I'm saying? All day. They should have been on their trilogy already. Man, facts. Ron Boy, what's up, man? Salute to your Ron Boy Fresh, man. That's my main man right there. Happy holidays to your fam. Happy holidays. Hey, Slim, who told you that football Sean was going to jet sweep out of the WBO? You said it. You said it. I'm waiting for him to do it. He's building his case now, Ron Boy. He's building the case now. He's just laying the foundation. You know what I mean? Oh, $1 million. I'm so offended. I'm so disrespected, even though if you take a closer look at his purses, you will see this ain't too far off. But he is so disrespected, and oh my, I'm outraged. Yeah, all right, we hear you, cuz. You want to go back through that PBC Merry Go Round, and we already see it. You know what I mean? For Ben, I don't think Sean. I'm going to let y'all chop it up. What do you think about Porter turning down $1 million? Man, I think Porter is wrong for it, fam. Go for the greatness and then set your own price. It's my whole thing. You know what I mean? You know what sanctioned body you in. You know what the rules are. You know, maybe this is the reason that back in the day that Keith Thurman called it the WB no, because he didn't want to take the split. You know what I mean? But the fact is, you know the situation you in, Porter. And what else is better out there? What else is going to get you this title shot? Errol Spence Jr. is down the line. He got an IBF mandatory to worry about. Ain't no telling when that fight going to come. And on top of that, Sean, you ain't been named a mandatory. People keep running around using that word so loosely. He ain't been named no mandatory of nothing. You know what I mean? Not the IBF for sure. The WBC ain't called it, and the WBO ain't called it. That's why everybody's sitting around like, yo, Sean, put in the damn paperwork. What are you doing? You know what I mean? He's sitting back weighing his options. Where can I get the most money? You ain't getting Manny Pacquiao. He's saying Manny Pacquiao, man. That's how. Errol Spence is later on down the line. You might well take the Terence Crawford offer. If not, you're going back through the PBC Merry Go Round all over again for the same money with no belts. You know what I mean? I think you should take it. You know what I mean? It's all, that's what a lot of the Spence fans come to me and they say, yo, man, the reason that Errol Spence Jr. can come at Terence Crawford the way he does is because it's all about leverage. This is the position that Terence Crawford is in. These are the supposed situations, which I don't agree with, that he got to deal with. Well, it's the same way with Porter. And the situation that he's in, where he's 4-1, won some, lost some, damn good fighter, you know what I mean? He's in a situation where he has nothing bigger on the horizon. And this is the biggest thing, a world title fight against the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing. Now, I think $1 million, I mean, I'm gonna keep this 100 too. Is that low for Porter? Absolutely. I ain't stupid. You know what I mean? I'm just talking, the situation is what the situation is. Is that low for Porter? Yeah, that's low for Porter. But that's the situation. And when they looking at your past checks, bro, or at least what's being reported, they saying that we ain't too far off. You know what I mean? And you fighting for world titles. I don't know, bro. But I understand maybe 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1. If ain't no pay-per-view involved, 1.5. You gave Kell Brook, what they gave Kell Brook, 1.5, 2 million, somewhere around there. You can give Porter around there too. I think that's only but the right thing. You know what I mean? But if like the saying that's going around, if they want them to do that, give Al a call, see what they can get done. All the money sitting over there, right? You know what I mean? They just came off these big deals, $100 million deals for PBC now, right? Because everybody got his head blowed up like he gave Spence problems, but he really got his ass whooped. I never heard of somebody getting beat the F up and getting super accolades. Facts, Mike. Facts. It was a close fight. Wasn't close enough on the second replay, but facts. I mean, Porter is not a big draw. He's an exciting fighter. We respect him as a fighter. Very respectable fighter. But at the end of the day, he's coming off losses. And at the end of the day, yo, this is just the situation you in. You ain't a world champion no more. You know, you just the situation you in, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why Earl only gave your ass 40%. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. How that dude, the IBF mandatory, when he missed his final elimination fight for the interim belt against Olympia. Yes. Yeah, exactly. They tried to say that the Formella fight was like a two-sided eliminator, bro. It was for the WBC and the IBF at the same time. But the one thing I noticed is they left the word final out. Usually when they're ready to go, they be like final eliminator. And I'm like, yo, whenever they don't say, they can still make them the mandatory, but whenever they don't say final eliminator, that lets me know you leaving room that if you want to put him into another fight, you can. You did, and they didn't do that with Avni Yildirim. Don't get it twisted. We just talked about this. They didn't do that with Avni Yildirim. Avni Yildirim coming off of a loss, off of a PED investigation, still becomes the mandatory, and now going into the biggest fight of his entire career with Canelo Alvarez. That's the WBC for you. It works here, but then you go to the Jamel Charlo situation where he had two mandatories. Remember, that's how the Erikson Lubin fight happened. Different situation for Jamel Charlo, different situation for Avni Yildirim. Now, we don't know what the situation is going to be for Shawn Porter, but he swears. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. Hey, Football Sean got $1 million versus formula. You know what I mean? And that's why I think he should get a little more. That's his going rate. My thing is, they know, look, that's your going rate. If you go over to PBC and you fight Keith Thurman, how much you think they're gonna pay him? You go to PBC and fight Danny Garcia, how much you think they're gonna pay him? If it just ain't on pay-per-view, which it more than likely won't be. How much you think they're gonna pay him? Around the same amount. And my thing is, you might as well just go there and do that with Terence Crawford and go after a world title and go after the #1 pound for pound and grab that scalp. And you need a scalp, Porter, because yeah, you beat Danny, but people looking at Danny like, you know, Danny wasn't all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying though. DJ Zion Love in the building. Salute to your family. Salute to you. Much love, fam. Much love. Much love. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't have a heart attack, but I'm on your side this time. Man, it's going to snow out here. Me and Mike is in agreement. Oh, my goodness. Hey, bro, now I know I'm going to have me a good day. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I like the camaraderie in you. Mike, you know what? Join the Bud side more often. The grass is much greener on the other side. You know what I mean? Much love to the homie Mike, man. Much love to the homie Mike. Is Bud versus Porter a pay-per-view fight to y'all? I would buy it, and I would buy Bud versus Keith and Bud versus Porter. I'd buy it. I'd buy it without a doubt. I don't know, man. This is one of them tricky situations right here, bro. You got two dudes who haven't really been proven to really be super big time draws and super big time pay-per-view sellers. You know what I mean? This is you will have to have a hell of an undercard, man. Bud versus Keith will do much better than Bud versus Porter, I think. You know what I mean? And even Bud versus Keith will only do, but bro, Bud's problem is he has never had that right dance partner they put on pay-per-view. They tried twice, he missed twice. The poster was a miss. Amir Khan was a miss, you know, and you know, you got to give Bud the right guy, bro. And this is what the Errol Spence Jr. fans look at right here. And they say, man, look at you, bro. You're struggling to explain Bud versus Keith and how it would sell. Of course it should be 60-40. Of course that's what y'all thinking, but that ain't how it go. You know what I mean? But I think Earl is a big name. He's a popping name, but he got the bigger state. Earl's name to me resonates with his state. Beyond Texas is the question. You know what I mean? Anybody can lock down where they come from. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. But still, he has the biggest state. But Bud versus Keith, Bud versus Porter, I pay for all that. I don't know about the masses, man. I can see Bud versus Keith hitting about 200, man. 2 to 250, maybe 250. 250 to 300. 200, between 200 and 300 for Bud and Keith. Bud and Porter, I'm looking at 150 to 200 for that, bro. I'm just saying, bro. I think 150 to 200 for Bud. That's just off the top of the head, man. I think Bud versus Keith does much better than Bud versus Porter, man. Real spill, you know what I mean? How about PBC get that fight over at Fox and with a purse bid? Put up 10 M's, pay Bud 7, get football Shawn 3, fight done. What's the problem? Facts. Nothing but facts. That can happen. That can definitely happen. Unless PBC want Porter to get back into rematches with Dan. To get back into rematches with keep opposition for their other fighters. You know what I'm saying? And not have Bud go over there and wreck Shawn Porter. PBC got a thing. They don't like other fighters taking their prestige, man. They don't like other networks or other promotional companies or fighters from the outside taking the prestige off their fighters like Andy Ruiz. You know what I mean? They don't like, if they know you on your last legs, no, they're not going to let nobody else take that. They're going to take it off you themselves. They'll put them in with a Jerome Boots Ennis. Somebody that's on their side, they do business with them that they raising up and say, here, take Shawn Porter. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. Hey, that makes perfect sense to me, Ron Boy. Makes perfect sense to me. PBC trying to turn into top rank before Maypac, the land of rematches. Yeah? I just don't see no other way for Shawn Porter if he turns down this $1 million. There's no other route other than back to the PBC gauntlet, not pay-per-view. You're still going to get your $1 million, 1.2, 1.3. Everybody say the secret back-end money checks, whatever. Ain't no pay-per-view involving in Shawn Porter. So whatever else extra he getting, and it can't be super amounts of money, maybe more, you're going to land in the same ballpark, bro. Just without a world championship and without the name Terence Bud Crawford. That's it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Got to follow the podcast. His dad is getting ready to put in the paperwork. Is that ready? All right. Well, we're going to see. Hey, bro, we waiting on it. Put in the paperwork. And let's see what happens. They laid the foundation of they don't want $1 million. If Bob come back, 1.2, 1.3, maybe like some of y'all saying, if Bud is his friend, and then Bud might say, well, 0.5, give him the 0.5, and I just take 3 and walk away, and I'm good. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Who knows? We'll see, man. Easier said than done. I've been listening to Shawn Porter talk for years, bro. I done seen this man come up with every excuse in the book. I'm dying to see it, and I hope so, Man, Shawn Porter's resume at 147 is too good for $1 million. The man's been in like 5 title fights or something like that. Hold on, though, wait. When I use stuff like that, though, about Terence Crawford, they say that don't mean nothing. When I say he's beaten champion after champion and advanced through weight classes and he's done so many great things, lineal champion, SP, you running down the whole list, undisputed, it means nothing, they say, when it comes to talk like this. It means nothing. Yeah, I respect what Shawn Porter has done at welterweight. I got a lot of love and respect for Shawn Porter, bro. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw, Shawn Porter is my kind of fighter. But I'm just saying at this point, when you've been through that gauntlet, you've been through your win, losses, and at this point, people are going to look at you like, because technically, what is really Bud getting from Porter again? Everybody say the name. They say that until Bud beat him. And then the name don't mean nothing no more. So, ain't no belt involved. Shawn Porter ain't want to have nothing to do with Terence Crawford when he had a belt. Ain't no belts involved. You coming off of loss. The Formella fight is forgettable. No one even knows about it. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, man. I mean, $1 million is the position that he's in. And if he don't want to take it, then go fight somebody else for $1 million and not get a belt. It wouldn't look good, Wade, for him to go somewhere else. Fight for the same amount of money, but just for less of a reward. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. What's up, D-Lo? My main man in the building. what's up, family? Check out the fam, D-Lo 44 Boxing. Doing it over there, man. Loving the channel, family. Loving it, man. Salute to you, fam. Salute to you. Pay-per-view really ain't the move for none of these fights outside of Bud versus Spence, in my opinion. You know, I hear people say that, D-Lo. I feel you as far as drawing power and who deserves to be on pay-per-view. I'm with you 100%. But I also know we in a climate with no crowds. And I also understand that in order for us to get certain fights, we got to pay these fighters. These fighters going to demand a certain amount of money. So we're going to get that level of fight, even if people are looking at today's pay-per-view as if they got to hit flawless numbers. That ain't why they're doing it. They're doing it just to give us the damn fights we want, somewhat of a fight that we want to see. Because these dudes got high price tags. There ain't no crowd. So when I land in $100,000, $200,000 pay-per-view selling range, that's at least enough to pay the fighters. And that's how these promoters are looking at it. So I'm with you in normal times. Hey, I would say I'm with you, bro. And then you could throw Manny Pacquiao in there to whichever one you like. But in these times, and I remember like people was laughing out, was it the tank numbers and stuff like that's how they pay fighters. I don't even think that they even tripping. I mean, they would like to sell a lot of pay-per-views, but once they hit that bottom line, these fighters, I think that's what they're going for. You know what I mean? And in that case, I understand. I do. Because they'll hit us with the bullshit. You can't get, we're going to have a bunch of crap fights. A bunch of crap fights. There ain't no, I mean, Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank. I mean, what they probably was requesting in purse money, it probably wouldn't have been able to happen. You know what I mean? Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia on regular TV, what they were probably requesting in purse. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's one of them things that you got to get good fights. We don't want to see a bunch of crap fights on free television. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying. In normal times, though, bro, I'm with you 100% on there, man. None of these dudes ain't pay-per-view stars whole time. You know what I mean? None of them. You know what I'm saying? D-Ray, what's up, man? What's up, family? What's up with you, man? What's going on? What's going on? Bud versus Porter will do the same numbers as Earl versus Porter, if not more. Bud has never fought an American on pay-per-view, unlike Earl, who's fought all Americans. I always say that. Earl's dance partner has been a much better pick than Terence Crawford's dance partners, mixed up with the fact that he got a bigger stake. And, you know, and that's why I'm saying the numbers, when people say, oh, well, he's the ace, his numbers ain't that astronomically bigger or more to the point where, you know, you got to boss up like you doing, and you got this big stake and you fighting popular fighters. You know what I'm saying? As for my boy Bud, who fought Victor Postal, a Ukrainian fighter that no one knew, and Amir Khan, a British fighter who everyone knew had a reputation for a glass jaw. You know what I mean? So dance partners matter. You put Bud and you put Earl together, you're going to get magic. $49.95. That was Bud's price of his last pay-per-view. Hey, man, maybe that's a good price. I pay for it. I'd rather pay that than $80. Shoot. You know, I mean, I pay that more better than $80 any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? I'd buy Porter versus Pac and Porter versus Mikey. I'd buy Porter versus Pac and Porter versus. I'd buy Porter versus Pacquiao all day. I don't know about Porter versus Mikey. Porter versus Mikey is like, that's really close. I'm not that big on Mikey like y'all are. I don't know. I like Porter versus Pacquiao though, because Porter's a former sparring partner of Manny Pacquiao, so I like to see how that fight plays out. You know what I mean? And we'll watch Porter versus Living Yates or Porter versus Jamal James on free TV. Yeah, Porter would make more than $1 million for the last two. He would make more than $1 million for the last two on free television. Okay, if you say so. But will he inherit a world championship? And will he get the name Terence Bud Crawford scalp on his wall? And will he be able to go forward and set his own, you know what I mean? Like he would be able to do, or a higher price, like he would able to do if he was to defeat a Terence Crawford? That's the question. Those are the rewards ain't nobody seeing. All everybody here is $1 million, $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. All Porters do is win a belt and lose it immediately. Facts. That's all he do. That's it, man. But he supposed to get look, I'm not gonna hate on him, man. He's still a good fighter. You know what I mean? He's a damn good fighter. He puts a valiant effort in every single time. I thought he lost to Jordanis Ugas, though. He's still a good fighter. He might not be like this controversial type fighter, but he's still the same fighter to watch. I have never been disappointed in one Showtime Shawn Porter fight. Not one. There's not one Shawn Porter fight. Maybe that last one before Melon. You know what I mean? But outside of that, most of Shawn Porter's fights are action-packed. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. For Ben says, yo, man, y'all keep bringing up it's for a title, but our title fights worth more than regular fights. With Porter, you get a top 5 name and a common opponent to sell the fight with Spence. Kell Brook is a common opponent to sell the fight with Spence. I just think that, look, man, you gotta understand, for Ben, this is not a year buildup, bro. People ain't got time at this point, bro. It's been 3 years, man. Like, if Porter was going to get in there somewhere, he should have been gotten there some goddamn way, bro. You know what I mean? We can't wait till here we are now. Like, it's been years and years and years, bro. Like, I'm like, I would rather see the Errol Spence Jr. fight, you know what I mean? But Shawn Porter's like, it's like one of them things where you lower on the totem pole right now, too, bro. Like, you got to get back. You coming off of losses. It's like we giving Shawn Porter credit for being just exciting. You know what I mean? No, you lost. So guess what? You get the opportunity to fight a champion for around the same amount of money you normally make. You know what I mean? It's this. It's like these price outs and high line, price tags, bro. It's just the way the duck fights, man. Come on, man. He know what he doing, bro. He rather go back on that PBC side and get that money and stay walking through that PBC Merry Go Round. He know what he doing. You know what I mean? Man, they be looking out for Porter, man. Porter know exactly what he doing, man. Now, they're not really friends. We know what that is. Yeah, they're not really friends. We know the real reason that they don't, Like I told y'all, they don't want to expose each other's drawing power, man. And they know that will hurt in the future negotiations. So if they are doing a friendly thing, it's by saying that they are friends when they know damn well they really ain't, So we'll see. Yeah, man. For sure, Fonzo. For sure. Spence 900,000, Crawford 200,000. 60-40 is Spence 900,000, Crawford 200,000. But how much do they get when they fight each other? I mean, how much do they do when they fight each other? You keep going by it. At the end of the day, neither man is going to make nearly as much money without fighting each other, unless Manny Pacquiao is involved. It don't matter. They need to stop pocket watching each other and just say, look, forget it, bro. If I take 50, you take 50, it's going to be the biggest checks that we've both ever seen. Why hold up this money off of this stupid small percentage? You know what I'm saying? Why do that? It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Or unless we can work out something where the winner gets something. Or better yet, send something like we talked about yesterday. How about sending me something so I can look at it on paper and maybe I'll consider something? It's all talk. Earl's next 2 fights are lined up. They've been lined up since the early portion of this year. I just told y'all. The IBF and the WBC mandatory. That's where they're going. It doesn't matter what gets sent. Dutch 60-40, 70-30 is just to push the fight further because they're not ready yet, man. And I don't fault them for that. I'm not like y'all. I don't fault Errol Spence Jr. and them side for not being ready. They not ready. They clearly not ready for whatever reason. They ain't ready. That's why they're pushing the goalpost further. We all just honest about this so we can, for one, stop being so disappointed in boxing when we don't get the fights we want to see because we're not staying up on what's going on. Earl right now, for whatever reason, fam, he ain't ready. Terence might be ready, and I'm sure Bob and them, they ready. I think they ready. But Earl ain't ready. And maybe it could be justified in saying, yo, he came off the car accident. He ain't really back because he didn't look 100% in the Danny Garcia fight. Would you put that version of Errol Spence Jr. in a fight with Terence Crawford? Keep it 100, Would you put that version of Errol Spence Jr.? If you were Errol Spence Jr. and you look back at tape at you and you seen that, Danny, how your balance was off and that wasn't Earl. That wasn't 100% Earl. Would you put that dude in there with Terence Crawford right now? The answer is no. The answer is no. So what they do is they push the goalpost further, which is understandable. But they do it by saving and trying to save face at the same time. So they say 60-40. So they say 70-30. You notice he said 60-40, but we can negotiate. They gonna come back, bro. Y'all ain't here. A lot of fans just want to bang the table. But that's why I don't fault Earl as much as a lot of people do. I understand where he's coming from. The only thing is, stop faking like that Terence Crawford don't want this fight, and stop faking like Terence Crawford don't deserve more, and trying to down his name and all. I don't care for all that. Just keep it 100 and say I ain't ready yet. I'll let you know when I'm ready. Until then, go do something else. That's what Canelo did. Canelo told Triple G flat out, I ain't gonna sit there and BS you. Y'all can be mad at Canelo all you want, but Canelo kept it 100. He kept it 100. And he said, yo, I ain't fighting you right now. You got to do something. You got to make me want to fight you. Go be the Andre. Go be the somebody else. You got to make me want to. And when you do that, I'll be ready. But right now, I'm not ready. Earl ain't ready. You know what I mean? He ain't ready yet. You know what I mean? Just tell him to give Bud a call when he's ready. Maybe that's why Bud said, yo, that man ain't ducking me. Bud said, yo, man, that man ain't ducking me. That man, I don't want to fight him after his accident. You know why? Because he knew that man wasn't ready. And he knew that man wasn't going to fight him. And that's a smart play. Any fighter will move like that. Danny, anybody can beat Danny. Anybody can beat Danny. Danny can be beat. You know what I mean? Real spill. Make Earl versus Lipinets and Ugas, and let's see how those pay-per-view numbers look like. They're going to tank. That's my Ron boy. You perfect example. They're going to tank. And dance partners matter. Victor Postol was a Ukrainian fighter that no one never knew or heard of. But dance partners matter. And you see how they hold Terence Crawford to those pay-per-view numbers? This is why I told y'all yesterday there ain't no way, even if Terence Crawford's side was considering 40%, that you come out today and say that. They holding this man accountable for pay-per-view numbers from years ago, from another weight class. Man, they would never forget that he uttered the words 40%. He better never do that. Never. 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 I want to get up out of here, y'all. Okay, so y'all blaming dance partners for Bud's low pay-per-view and make that he needs an American to sell. But y'all don't want to pay an American as much as Khan or Brook what the because also for Ben, you remember that they lost. They learned something in that situation, and that is, look, we can't put this dude in there with guys that don't got fan bases. So learning from those situations of, well, clearly Bud can't carry the card by himself right now. Learning from that, ain't no way they're gonna turn around and say, yo, get him another guy that don't have a fan base and then pay him all this money. No, they learn. So the next guy that we mess with, yo, you got to be worth it. You got to be worth this. Kell Brook, they didn't believe in Kell Brook. And you can see why. They didn't believe it. Bob Arum was telling everybody at one point in time, if you go back about a year or two, Bob Arum didn't want to have anything to do with no Shawn Porter. He didn't want to have anything to do with Danny Garcia. For real, for real. I mean, they sent the little offer, but he didn't really want that fight. He kept telling everybody the only fight he wanted was Errol Spence Jr. Because he knew that's the only dude that I'm willing to give a certain level of money, and he the only one with a fan base supporting him. I've learned Amir Khan's Army Barmy didn't show up. You know what I mean? Victor Postol, I guess he was a nobody. Nobody. The Ukraine didn't support him. You know what I mean? Look at Vasil Lomachenko, cashed in. The Ukraine ain't support him. You know what I mean? So it's dance partners matter, bro. Dance partners matter. Dance partners matter. And none of these dudes that's demanding all of this top money got these huge fan bases. Keith, I love you, Keith. $10 million don't match your drawing. Your $10 million in a pandemic doesn't match the fact that you got it is worth that money. You just paying for the name, bro. Bud's tried to pay for names in the past and it don't work out. Every time he paid for the name, they diss the name after the fight. The name don't mean nothing no more. It's about champions at this point, bro. It's about champions. It's about champions. You know what I'm saying? I thought they was going to let the fight go to purse bid. Probably so. More than likely. I mean, if they don't want to take the $1 million offer, let it go to purse bid, you know, and let PBC put a bigger number on the table. And that way Shawn Porter's salary gets raised. This is simple. It's still going to be the 75-25 split unless something get worked out. That's a WBO rule. But at the end of the day, they can put more money in the pot and Shawn Porter gets a higher amount. We get him over that 1.5, 1.7. You get him up in there, it shouldn't be no problem, I would think. But then again, we've seen it before. These dudes wanting their net worths to fight Terence Crawford. My man Keith, I love you to death, but you worth 8 allegedly, and you asked for 10. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Let me scroll back some. Yep. Khan was coming off of a Samuel Vargas win and Brook off of a DeLuca win. That ain't no different than Formella win. They are all bums. Yeah. Well, that's only because Terence Crawford has no choice. He's only fighting who he can fight. He offered them all fights. I mean, what else can he do? You know, as for in the other side, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? But Khan was coming off of a Samuel Vargas win. They thought Khan was the popular fighter, bro. And Khan brought a whole UK market. They thought. Not to mention the Middle East. They thought. This that the Khan's people didn't show up. It was a bad bet. I don't never deny that. That was a bad bet. And I really think that bet is the bet that makes Bob Arum so hesitant on Terence. It's like, bro, I got to make sure that your opponents, if I put you on pay-per-view, they got to have a fan base. You're not the one. And Errol and Terence together just goes together. It's just perfect. Great fight, in prime fighters, both popping. I don't care which one. You could do videos on Terence Crawford by itself. They're going to pop on YouTube. Errol Spence, same thing. No one's popping like these two names. But then when you look at the pay-per-view, no one's about. You know that these are the two popping fighters in boxing. You know it. You bring them together, it's even bigger. It just don't make no more sense. We wait until October 2021, y'all. We just gonna wait. My thing is, the whole purpose of this video, y'all, I just want y'all not to lose focus that Shawn Porter is, I think the direction he's going to end up going in is back through the PBC carousel if he doesn't accept this offer from Terence Crawford. That's the best it's going to go. I mean, we ran through the rankings a little earlier. Keith Thurman, the Danny Garcia fight, Mikey Garcia, all of these dudes all lined up in the WBC. Shawn Porter ain't been named mandatory to nothing yet, at least yet. You know what I mean? I'm hoping he does soon. I hope one of these sanctioning bodies make it crystal clear that Shawn Porter is the mandatory, because I've been calling him the Magic Mando, you know, because he came out and told the world that I am the mandatory in the IBF, the WBO, and in the WBC. So I was like, what? Just to come find out he's not the mandatory in none of them right now. Just a number one contender in one. Number one contender in two. You know what I mean? 2 number one contenders. I think he has the silver title in the WBC and the IBF. Well, it's going to be Optimus. So he's going to have to wait around either for Bud or until Errol Spence Jr. handles his IBF mandatory, which it's already been put out there that that's the way he's going to go next if Manny Pacquiao on K4 fight. You know what I mean? Looking like the PBC Merry Go Round. Or what are they going to do? Danny Garcia versus Shawn Porter 2. You know what I mean? Hey, that may be some good fights on free TV the whole time. I'm going to be honest. The first fight was damn good. Lomachenko didn't give part of his purse, and Bud shouldn't either. These networks and promoters got enough money to pay. Okay, there you go. I agree. The networks got the money, but the boxing on the network, the budget ain't only but so big. You know what I mean? Yeah, ESPN, I'm sure they got a lot of money, but they also talk about and push a lot of sports. The question is, how big is the boxing budget? You know what I'm saying? They pay Terence Crawford's salary. You know what I mean? They cover that. The network covered the fighter salary, from what I understand. You know, I should be on board. And just Bob probably just trying to be stingy. Look, I don't deny that Bob is trying to be stingy in this situation, you know, but this is leverage. And this is the position that Porter's just in, like y'all be saying about Bud. Hell yeah, did you see what he did to Danny at half strength? Nobody has whooped Danny like that. Earl is going to destroy Terence Crawford. Trust me. He's not ready because he's never fought a real, true dog. Okay, well, like I asked the question before, would you feel comfortable looking at that version of Earl go into today's version of Terence Crawford? Or would you feel better if he got on fight? The mandatory would be the perfect touch. Nobody will fault him for it. You know, it's the mandatory. Then what can you do, right? Only thing that trumps the mandatories is unifications. But at the end of the day, nobody will fault Errol Spence for fighting this IBF mandatory, especially after beating Manny Garcia the first fight back. I don't deny that. Would you rather have yourself as Errol Spence come back and do that, or jump right there with Terence Crawford. And then if your balance is off like it was in the Danny Garcia fight against Bud, that's not good, fam. Mike, that ain't good, Mike. His balance, he was flipping and flopping. Mike, it ain't that. If he go in there with turns like that, it's curtains, bro. And he know it. He know it. See, y'all fans, these fighters know their limitations, bro. And he know that now ain't the time. That aside from the fact that the suits ain't trying to do shit either. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get ready to get up out of here, y'all. I gotta get ready to get up out of here. I see I got fam in the building. My main man on the date. What's up, Cadillac Red Man? Supreme Beach Boxing Talk is in the building. Salute to the DMV. What's up, homie? What's going on? Damn, I'm late, but you know I'm a playback player. Hey, it's all good, bro. I appreciate you rocking with me, and you know I'm always rocking with you. And happy holidays to you too, fam. You know what I'm saying? I hope you had a good time and have a good holidays, man. Much love to you, man. Much love. You know, we just talking this real spill, man. You already know how we do, you know? Just kind of jumping in and jumping on out, man. I'm about to get up out of here, though, y'all. Man, let that joint go to purse bid, and the best thing ever, it will expose a lot in the welterweight division, son. I'm dying to see it happen. I'm telling y'all right now, fam, I ain't buying. Oh, he been lowballed, so he pulled himself out the rankings. And that's a duck. That is a duck. No one has never said, oh, financials is a reason to get out of the way of the number one pound-for-pound fighter. That is a duck. That is a certified duck. You know what I mean? Shawn Porter knows he can go over to PBC and last a lot longer with losses than as opposed to losing to Terence Crawford. He knows that, especially if he got stopped by Terence Crawford. I'm telling y'all straight like this, man. If Al Heyman and PBC and them won the purse bid, the fight would be on PBC. You know, they get to call the shots if they win the purse bid, right? They get to pick everything. So what the problem is, you know, won't be no biased judging, and the commentators will be all on your side, bro. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Bud ain't even did $250,000 on pay-per-view. Earl done damn near $1 million. See, let me stop right here. This is what I've been saying to folks. You see how we are unfair on things? Y'all sitting here giving me the business about since Shawn Porter is so accomplished and fought so many people at welterweight, he should get a certain amount of money. And now, on the flip tip, you got a more accomplished fighter. Bud ain't even did $250,000 on pay-per-view. Earl done, even though Earl done damn near $1 million. Earl put more asses in the seat. So are we using their accomplishments to say why they should or should not get more money or not? So you want to go by the past slice. Oh, well, this person did this many views on pay-per-view and that person did so many views. Once again, I believe if you would have put Terence Crawford in that fight, in the same fights that Errol Spence had, Terence Crawford and Mikey Garcia, there's the same numbers. Terence Crawford, and who else did he fight? Terence Crawford and Showtime Shawn Porter. Well, then again, that may not do the same numbers, but him and Mikey, they do the same numbers, bro. They not that far off, man. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth them holding up the biggest fight in boxing for 10%. You know what I'm saying? For literally 10%. That's just not worth it, bro. Accomplishments mean something to me. And Bud got the biggest accomplishments at welterweight right now. His name deserves it. If y'all telling me that Keith Thurman name deserves $10 million, if people are agreeing that, oh, he should have gave Keith $10 million for his name, that's what he used to do. I say the same thing about Bud, and it falls on deaf ears. I just think that what he's accomplished and what he means to the sport is worth 50-50. You know what I'm saying? It's worth 50. I just told y'all, bro, there ain't nobody popping more than Bud and Earl right now. No one's doing it. It takes them both. You know what I'm saying? It takes them both. It takes them both. And when you put them together, if somebody do anybody for that, man, you do a Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford breakdown, you're gonna get attention. It's just the way, because they are popping. They need each other. You know what I mean? I'm telling y'all, what's real, man. What's real. What's crazy is y'all know for a fact that Spence and Bud ain't happening next. But y'all don't want Bud versus Porter either. So who do y'all want him? I want him to fight Porter. No. I want the Porter fight. I just want Porter to accept the deal, take the $1 million, get the big name, go for the big fight. That's what I want him to do. I want him to put the paperwork in and do everything that it takes to fight Terence Crawford. Because just as long as we've been mentioning Earl and Terence and Danny, we've been mentioning Shawn too. There's videos that go back for a while. There's interviews that go back for a long time. Like, yo, bro, when you gonna fight Terence? Well, you know, he's my friend, and you know, roses are red and violets are blue, and sugar is sweet and bud is too. You know what I mean? Like these two he's been giving these weird answers for years when it comes to Terence Crawford. For years. So, you know, I want him to fight. I want him to fight him, Porter, just as much as I want him to fight anybody else. But Porter got to be real and accept he's at in his career. He don't got a belt. You know, he's not coming off a big win. His pay-per-view numbers was I'm willing to bet that Earl Curry most of that. You know, so it's just take what you can get to get back to the top, bro. Like, I don't understand, folks, man. When Keith Thurman took his loss, y'all telling me that Keith Thurman is done and he's through and he's got to do this, he's got to do that. But Shawn Porter loses to Earl, beats up on formula, and now he deserves all of this money. But when Keith Thurman lost to Manny Pacquiao, y'all wrote him off. Oh, who's Keith Thurman? He's done. Ponytail, he is done. No one wants to hit Keith Thurman. Yeah, it's fine. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman take a loss and, you know, no. And he come back and ask for $10 million and everybody on board. Boy, this shit is, you know, you can't make it up, bro. Y'all Bud detractors be killing me. Give Keith $10 million for coming off a loss. You know what I'm saying? But yet, in Showtime Shawn Porter's case, he deserves $1 million also for coming off a win. Come on, man. Everybody in here agrees. Bud needs an American. Everyone agrees Porter is a bigger name than Brook and Khan. Porter is a bigger name than Brook and Khan. To hardcores, I mean, ain't many people really know Porter, bro. To hardcores, yeah, but I hear you. But I'd say he's more valuable. He's definitely more valuable than Brook and Khan. But everyone is saying that he should get less than those two. Those, well, in Khan's case, his fight didn't happen in the pandemic. But in Khan's case, it was a pay-per-view fight, so more revenue was involved in that situation. In Kale's case, well, that was like pulling teeth. You know what I mean? Look what he had to go through. And Eddie looking for the money. He told Eddie to go, and then Bob ran over to Sky Sports looking for the money. I mean, it wasn't like that Bob just kind of like gave it to Kell Brook easy. Like, there was a lot of wrangling between it. Matter of fact, the fight got pushed back from what I recall from its original time that they really wanted it. And that's how the DeLuca fight even came along. They wanted it to be for the DeLuca fight. But no money was there. And, you know, it took a long time just to get Kell Brook an extra, 0.5 or, you know, an extra $1 million. That didn't come overnight, fam. That took some time. You know what I'm saying? So I hear what you're saying, but they were real hesitant to get Kell Brook that money. And I thought that Eddie Hearn would have helped play the bigger helping hand. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Napoleon Armstrong and the Super Chat family. Much love, man. Really appreciate you, man. Earl stands to become undisputed. Beat pound for pound champion and take Bud's O. These are bargaining chips. Break bread, Earl. Facts. They act like that they people, I don't know if people have been talking about this so long that they forget that dynamic exists. That they forget that if Earl defeats Terence Crawford, what he will become afterwards. It's not like if he beats Sergey Lipinets or Danny Garcia. It's not that, bro. This takes him to the next stratosphere where he's not only the king of the division. Not only is he the king of it, but he is the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing by a mile. He beats Bud, takes Bud's O. You talking about the #1 pound for pound fighter with 3 belts en route to being undisputed. The only person that's left is Manny Pacquiao. How does Manny Pacquiao turn down that fight? Riddle me that, Napoleon. Errol Spence Jr. wants a Manny Pacquiao. How does Manny Pacquiao turn down the winner of Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford? Cannot do it. It's too juicy. It's too juicy. If Earl beats Terence in Texas, do you know Texas already bossed up for Earl? Bro, they're gonna have to put seats in the parking lot. They're gonna have to put seats in the parking lot. A Manny Pacquiao versus Earl after he beats Terence Crawford, they will have to put seats in the parking lot, champ. It'll be beautiful. Monumental. I don't care what country hosted. You'll have countries bidding for that damn fight. At least you should. Man, y'all don't get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't understand, yo. I just look at it like this thing is huge, bro. And when these two brothers come together, man, they're gonna take over the sport of boxing. You know, this whole notion of two black fighters don't sell, man, that's gonna get smashed, bro. That whole notion, that whole stigma and stereotype would get blown all up, man. You know what I mean? Put this damn fight in Africa, bro. I'm telling you, man, this would be huge. We talking Thriller, Manila, Rumble in the Jungle all over again. I love it. I love it, man. Hey, Zeno, what's up? You sounding like the Terminator, and I'm cutting up, man. I'm having a good time, bro. I don't know about y'all, man, but I had a great holidays, bro. You know, and it was really, you know, I'm the type of dude. I'm real festival, man. I'm real festive, man. I'm getting disappointed that we getting like real close to have to take the Christmas trees down and stuff, man. So this whole last week, man, I just been in like a good mood, man, having a good time, and even here on the channel, you know, I decided this week that I wasn't going to do any videos like, you know, my normal sit down editing, the box here, the box there, the box here. I decided I wasn't even going to do that this week because I'm just kind of just taking it easy this week. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just having a good time, talking a little bit with the fam, man. And much love to each and every one of y'all. Yo, Capadonna, what's up, man? What's up, family? Salute to you, man. As y'all see, we keeping the subjects light. Nothing we digging like we used to do. And, you know, it takes a lot of work to do that stuff. And I'm just having a good time this week. I'm chilling. We're going to do We Talking Boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to that. And much love to y'all, man. You know, I'm digging these live chats like this, man. I'm digging these type of things like this, and I think it's just more fun. You know, I usually got to sit down and edit 2-3 videos and go through it and make sure research my research to make sure that the research is right and all that stuff, man. And it's like, yo, not for the holidays, man. I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? Much love to Forbidden Media in the super chat, man. Much love to your family. I am seriously trying to understand this logic that Porter, who fits the parameters of success that y'all laid out, should get less than Brook. Because my thing is, like I just told you, bro, Brook didn't get that overnight. It took months of negotiations to get Brook that extra little bit of money. That extra just little bit of money. I mean, that was like pulling teeth from Bob Arum. In Porter's case, he's, for one, not nearly as known as you're trying to make him out to be. He's not. He is the name. He is exciting. He is a former champion. But I think on a scale of popularity, he's just a tad bit more known than Kell Brook. You know what I mean? That's not the call, fam. I think that you got to honestly look at the fact that you got to look at the fact of the position that he's in and say, what else do you have to do other than make $1 million and go for the #1 pound for pound fight? What else are you going to do? And he's on record saying he don't want to fight Keith Thurman. He's on record saying that he wants Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence. And Errol Spence is busy. So you're going to make less money to get less reward. It's leverage, man. For me to say all that, it all comes down to leverage. And they got him in a position where you can either take it or go make the same amount with less. And we see you later because we really don't want you anyway. You feel me? And I hate to say it, but that's the situation he in. Ronnie Boy Fresh in the super chat, man. Much love to you, my family. That's my main man right there. Brook already flushed football Shawn Radiator. That's why he got more bread. Oh, it take Ron Boy to come back with a point like that, bro. Forgot about that. Shawn did get beat by Brook. Brook will deserve more than Shawn. Fact. Not to mention, Brook has well, I'm going to say he out of country, but he has another market. You know what I mean? Shawn is a man with no land. Shawn they say he's from Ohio. I don't know if Ohio be rallying around him like that. He's a man with no land. Like, yo, like Shawn Porter who is his fan base? Adrian Bronner asked that, like, yo, who is your fan base? You ain't got no fan base, bro. Like, who is it? Tell me where they at. Who show up to see you fight? You know what I mean? He just don't have that going for him. And he's an exciting fighter, but people don't like his style, bro. And he got beat by Brook. So, yeah, you're right. Brook deserves more money. Much love to Ron Boy, man. Great point, Ron Boy. Always coming through, man. For Ben, come right back. This super chat going towards Porter's purse. Every dollar counts, fam. Every dollar counts. You know what I mean? Porter can use all the help that he can get, man. Every dollar counts to make this fight, man. We are looking forward to having Showtime Shawn Porter. We're going to start a Porter fund, man. I'm all in, man. I'm gonna put mine in too, man. Much love to you, man. And hopefully that'll be enough to get across the finish line. You know what I mean? Whatever counts, man. My brother D-Lo 44 Boxing in the super chat. Much respect and appreciation. Much respect and appreciation to you, my friend, man. Salute to D-Lo 44 Boxing. That's my main man right there. Love that channel over there, man. I'm there every single day. You know what I'm saying? Make no mistake about it, my man. Much love to you, man. Much love to you, man. You back, the screen working again. You all good, man. Hey yo, and that's another thing. Apologies for the freezing and stuff like that. I'm in my storage unit. You know what I mean? When y'all see me here, I'm in the storage unit. You know what I'm saying? I got shelves and all kinds of stuff located right outside here. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So I'll be trying to do it in here. It's a private area for me, somewhere I can kind of tuck away. It's like my little office area right here. And right outside of here is like a bunch of storage bins and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I try to do it right here with when I come here. This is like my little chill little area, you know what I mean? Real chill little spot, you know what I'm saying? But much love, man. Much love, man. You keep what you kill. He says, Napoleon says, you keep what you kill. Earl can't take all the money and inherit the accolades. If he wins, best believe he will holler, pound for pound and undisputed. So what you are willing to pay for, top honors. Couldn't have said it no better. I couldn't have said that no better. That is worth 50-50, bro. That is more than worth 50-50. To be called pound for pound, undisputed, top honors, world respected on every corner of the boxing globe. There's not no one. Of course, on top of your head, haters, but bro, this man will be so well respected amongst the legends, amongst the greats. They will look back at his road and say, you went through Kell Brook when no one wanted to fight him. You went through Lamont Peterson. You went through Mikey Garcia, Danny, and Shawn Porter, and finished it off with Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford. Bro, that is history making. When we look back, 2020, you know, hindsight is always 2020, right? When we look back, we're going to say, damn, now that's a slew of names. And he finished it off with the #1 pound for pound fighter in boxing and one of the top fighters of the last decades. Top 10 fighter of all time. Manny Pacquiao. Bro, it gets no. After Pacquiao coming off beating Keith Thurman, y'all want to roll for legacy. Y'all want to roll for legacy. Well, that's it right there. Ronnie Boy Fresh back in that super chat. Much love to your family. Football Sean Fun, so he won't jet sweep out the WBO all day. Yo, everybody contribute to the Shawn Porter Fund. You know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter needs help. We got to start a GoFundMe for Shawn Porter to get him to blood fund. And this is sad. You know what we doing is PBC. That's the deal that y'all cut. I'm receiving money the time starts now, man. What's up with all the money? Yeah, they got deals from Showtime, they got deals from Fox, and they are receiving money, not paying money no more. They're receiving money. Come on, man. Y'all can't find Shawn $2 million. Y'all can't find Shawn $2 million. Or y'all can keep him for yourself. But they trying to freeze Bud out, man. Y'all know what they're doing, man. They trying to freeze Bud out, and this is the game plan. You know, man. It is what it is, man. October 2021 for Earl and Bud. But for Shawn, right now, let's see what moves he making. Like I told y'all yesterday before I get out of here, if it ain't gonna be Shawn, well, we still got Virgil Ortiz right there. You still got who else is up in there? I forgot. We ran down a whole list. It's a couple other cats that's there. Hold on. If it ain't gonna be Shawn, it ain't got to be Shawn, right? Virgil Ortiz, Mikey Garcia are standing right there in the #2 and the #3 position. So if for whatever reason, clearly the $1 million ain't gonna work out for Shawn, Virgil, you next. You looking for an opponent? Will it work out for you? Because Oscar got a lot of shit to talk about. You know what I mean? I seriously doubt it. I think he gets out the way too. Mikey Garcia, well, we know $1 million ain't good enough for Mikey to work for him. So we'll see. We'll see who else gets the way and who he eventually will be named as the WBO mandatory for Terence Crawford. The hunt continues, y'all. And just keep in mind, after this video, just know Shawn Porter is not, at least as today, Shawn Porter officially is not the mandatory of nothing. Let's see which way he moves. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Much love to y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be doing We Talking Boxing, where we will elaborate on many different topics. And I'll make sure that that mic is cracking and working. And I'm working on the phone calls, fam. I'm working on that too. And we're getting along with that one real soon too. And I'll be looking forward to talking to all of y'all, man. Much love to all of y'all. And until the next video, man. Thumbs up for the family. And salute to everybody in Mainman's Boxing Forum. I get up with y'all soon. To the next